it's Michele from Scrap Secrets, and welcome to my submission for the Same Set Syndrome June Hop. This month we are featuring Joy Clair, and I'll talk a little bit more about the hop as well as the prize associated with it as we go along. But first I want to show you the card that I did, the fun fold card that I did with the stamp set Ooh La La from Joy Clair. The stamp set is a smaller one, so it has a more affordable price point, and I used a bunch of the images and a couple of sentiments to create that fun fold card. The card base is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I did make 2 cuts, one at 1 3/4 inches, and then from what was left, I also cut it at 2 inches. All of the measurements will be listed below, and you'll see as we go through, it'll make more sense. I also have 2 pieces of Bristol smooth cardstock that are 4 by 4 as well as 2 1/2 by 4 inches. Again, those measurements will be listed below in the more information section. So I did use Bristol smooth cardstock with this, and I ended up doing Copic markers. I had a whole other plan in mind, and then somehow it got turned around and I ended up using my Copic markers. Bristol Smooth is not the best for me with Copic markers. I know that some people it works fine with. I did not get the best results. I did get a little bit of bleeding, but you'll see how I fix that as we go through. So I'm going to ink up the image, the dog image, with Gina K Designs amalgam ink and stamp it down on the piece of 2 1/2 by 4 inch cardstock. This is Bristol Smooth cardstock. And I have to ink it a couple times because I was trying to be very cognizant of not shaking my desk. So I was trying not to press too hard. I'm still getting used to the overhead camera angle and the shakiness of I kind of have like a gooseneck one that you can bend. And it's not the sturdiest thing, so I was really trying not to make you guys seasick and make things move. But I did stamp it a couple times, and it came out good with the exception of the top of the dog's ear, but I didn't realize that until much later. So anyway, I stamped that out, and I'm going to put it to the side to dry. Now, it does dry fairly quickly, but with Copic markers, I like to give whenever I use Copic markers, I like to put that image to the side for a little bit before I start coloring with it. Now we're going to take the 4 by 4 piece of Bristol smooth cardstock and take 2 of the images and create a patterned paper. So I'm using the palette first, and what I like to do is first I like to take the largest image and stamp it several times on the background, rotating it, but also having it be stamped off the paper. I just think that it looks more like natural pattern paper that you would buy at a craft store. So I think that, and then I just fill up the spaces. I'm just stamping it a couple of times here. And then I will get ready to switch over to the lipstick and stamp that on the background too, filling up the spaces that I left. So I like to stamp the largest image first and then fill it in with the smaller image. And again, do the same thing with that one, stamping it off the paper to make it look more like a regular pattern paper that you just cut down. So we're going to use this for the 2 front flaps of the card, and once this is done, I'm actually going to set it to the side. Same thing as the dog image, I want to give the ink a little bit of time to dry before I start using my Copic markers with it. I was hoping to not let the images bleed. So I'm going to clean off my mat, and then we are going to do the sentiments. Now I wanted the sentiments to be on the inside of the card, but I wanted you to be able to see them when it was closed. So I put the card base in the MISTI, and then I took the little piece that's going to be attached by the longer piece, which will make more sense in a little bit, at the bottom, lined it up with the bottom edge, put a magnet on it, lined up the images, and then I also took the piece of black cardstock that's going to mat the dog image to the right of the sentiment so that to make sure that you would still be able to see both of the sentiments once the dog image is on. And I also wanted to make sure that nothing was blocking the 2 sentiments. So I inked that up with my favorite thing, Sweet Tooth pigment ink. I wanted it to be in white because I think white and black, just white stamping on black cardstock just makes it pop, I think. I just like that little bit of white. Just like when you have an all white card base, I like when you just put a pop of black on there. So I just thought that it looked nice. I was going to use my brand new heat tool, but I don't have any outlets that are close to my desk now that were free. I'm charging the iPad, I have the light, and I also have charging my iPhone. So didn't have any free outlets, so I thought that I would just use the pigment ink. So now we are going to Copic color the dog image. This is all very simple, basic coloring. I will hold up the Copic markers to the screen. I will also try to have them listed below in the more information section. And I do apologize. I know my head gets in the way. I do have to, again, I think this is the first time I've Copic colored while on video. I have to adjust my screen, and sorry about the grays too. You can probably see that, it's so bad. But anyway, let's talk a little bit about the hop while you're watching me color, which is kind of why I left this in, because it's a little bit repetitive, but I definitely did want to talk to you guys about the hop. So this hop is going to be 6 months long. There are going to be the same participants, and we will all be in the same order for 6 months. Since almost all of our channels are small, we decided that we were going to promote smaller stamp companies, smaller, newer. We took a vote on what stamp companies we all had, and what ones we wanted to showcase. And what you're gonna see are videos with the same stamp sets. So not everybody has the same stamp set. I believe for this one there were 4 different ones that you could choose from. I can't remember, it might be 2. I know some of them were 2 and some of them were 4. Some of them were actually going to be using the exact same thing. So it just depends on the month. And there is a hashtag, and it's hashtag same set syndrome, and then the month that we're in. So which all the videos should start with that, so you can type in the hashtag. There's also going to be a full list in my more information section of everybody's videos and links to everybody's video. So you'll be able to do it by the hashtag. You'll be able to click on the links, so you won't miss anybody's videos. And you don't want to miss anybody's video, because the more videos you comment on, the more chances you have to win prizes. So for this month, there is a $25 gift card to Joy Clair. And so what's going to happen is you are going to comment on my video by July 6th. I will pick a winner on July 7th, and then I'll turn your name into Allison. And on her channel on July 10th, the winner will be announced for the $25 gift card to Joy Clair. So every month, I believe every month there will be a prize. Right now, I think we have prizes for the first 2 months. So super exciting. And so the more times you comment and like people's videos, the more chances you have to win the gift card. So hop along with us and comment and like the videos and subscribe, because we are smaller channels and we love the interaction. So that's pretty much it. Like I said, we're going to pick a different stamp company each month, so you can get a bunch of different ideas using the same stamp set, which is really neat, because if you're on the fence as to whether to buy something, this can help you see what you can do with the same stamp set. It'll give you different ideas, and not necessarily this specific stamp set either. You can, get ideas of different ways to use a stamp set that you have. Maybe a similar one. So here I had a little bit of bleeding, so I just took my colorless blender and pushed the red back out of the blue, and for the most part it worked. The reds seemed to really, really bleed on this, as well as the purples. So I didn't love that. Again, I would not use Bristol cardstock normally. The colors that I use, just real quick, since we are still working on this, since I left all this coloring in, R35, RV29, C0, C1. The purples are V17, I believe, and V4 or V9. I did use some of the greens, and those are RG06, and then I believe I used, that's the same one. I believe I used no, did not GO2. Just looking for it, sorry. G82 maybe. So again, I'll have the markers listed below in the more information section. Now I'm using those same two reds to color in the lipstick, and I'm only going to show you a little bit of this coloring. I realized that I still had the camera on. I thought I had turned it off in between because you really don't need to see me coloring. Again, this is very, very basic coloring. I took the lighter color and did the top of the lipstick, and then the bottom of the lipstick is the darker color. I will color in the bottoms of those with E43, and then I colored in the palettes with BV23, as well as, which is, is that the, hold on, maybe that's not it. BV25 is what I colored the palette in. BV23 is what I used for part of the brushes. And I tried to use a lot of the same colors that I used on the dog, to just so that I wasn't introducing a bunch of new colors. So that color that I just colored in is the same one that I used for the ears and the bottom of the feet, which is E93. There's the E43 for the lipstick. Now, I am not a big makeup person, but I do have, I think it's CoverGirl. I think that's what it is. But they have that like goldish case. So that's kind of what I was going for here. Like I said, I wear lipstick and mascara if I'm going out somewhere. So I really don't, it's funny that I picked this stamp set because I am really not someone who wears makeup, but I just did think it was super cute with the makeup. And I don't have a lot of stamp sets that have makeup pieces on it. I do have nail polish from Honeybee, but I just thought this one was really, really cute. And I kind of had this idea in my head when I saw the stamp set, which is how I've picked the stamp sets that I was going to use. Okay, so there's pretty much all the Copic markers that I used and the finished piece. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut that piece of cardstock down. So the card base is 4 1/4, and then it's 1 3/4. So I cut the piece down to 1 3/4 by 4 inches, so that it would be top to bottom. The pattern paper would cover it, but it would have a little bit of black on the left and the right sides. So I'm just cutting both of those, cutting 2 strips of pattern paper. So there you go. It fits top to bottom, but left and right, there's just a little bit of black on the sides. And I just, instead of having an even border around it like I normally do, I just really liked that, like the way that looked. You know, just to do something a little bit different, cutting that down to the same exact thing. And then I'm going to take my ATG and put glue on the back of it. Now, I thought that I was going to do the same thing for the dog piece, but I actually put a border on all 4 sides for the dog piece. Now, you'll see I have to fix my ATG again. Because it snapped, it's giving me a hard time. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure why, because I feel like it shouldn't. But anyway, just lining those pieces up for the bottom. And then you'll see in a minute how I'm going to connect that bottom piece to the rest of the card base. So we're just going to glue the top on and then work on the dog as well. So this is a fairly simple fun fold card. I guess it's considered a fun fold card. It's just something that's a little bit different. I'm loving the fun folds and different kinds of cards. If you guys are liking these, or if you've tried any of these, let me know, because I really, really like doing these. I do have a couple more in mind for a couple more videos, which will be coming soon. I do have a couple other projects that are due around the same times. So, all right, so now here you'll see I line that up with the bottom of that piece with the bottom of the card base, and then I'm just going to put glue on the back of the top of that piece, the top and the bottom of that piece, and then hold the bottom in place and glue that down. So that's how it's going to be attached. It's going to be attached by that dog piece right there. So super, super easy card to do. I hope that you guys enjoyed this hop. I hope that you've hopped along and got to see a bunch of different ideas. There's the finalized card. Thank you guys so much for watching, commenting, and subscribing, and I will see you guys again real soon for another video. Bye!